great to be here. Happy to be any place at this time, but looking forward to the season. As you know, we've got a lot of football players coming back, guys that have started for 2 or 3 years. So it's an exciting time for us. Obviously, it's a tough league. So many good football teams, so many good quarterbacks in this league. It's unbelievable the amount of quarterbacks and that are good in this league. I think probably our strengths, as I look at them right now, is our defensive football team, number one. We've got a lot of depth there, and I'm sure I'll get questions about the players, but we're too deep at about every position on defense. We had Omar Bolin, who went down in the spring, who was probably our best defensive back with an ACL. We're going to miss him. We're going to have to replace him with, with some younger players or some of the things that we do defensively. But offensively, the most excited I've been because we have about 7 or 8 offensive linemen that have played, and we've never had that since I've been at Arizona State. All 5 of our starters are back, and all of our backups actually. So when you start offensively, you start with an offensive front. I can remember last year or 2 years ago when you get one guy hurt in the offensive line, you can't replace him. It changes everything that you do. So feel like we have some skilled players coming back that played last year. Cameron Marshall at running back to me is an outstanding player, and then Brock, Brock had a great spring, and I'll brag on him real quickly. He's very talented in a lot of areas. I do know that he's the tallest quarterback in the league, so you got that going for you. But the thing that's really jumped out is his leadership ability, how he's taken things over in spring football, how he's taken things over in the summertime offensively, and that position, as we all know, you can have talent, you can do a lot of things, but the intangibles as far as leadership is the key to that position. And the best ones I've had in my coaching career and have not always been the most physically gifted, but they've been the best leaders, and that's what we have with Brock. So without any further ado, I'll introduce Brock Osweiler. He is the one answering all the questions for you. Questions?
Okay, question down here, front center.
Coach, how do you think that the officials have administered the excessive celebration rule past couple of years, and what do you think of the change of the rule to where they take touchdowns away?
Well, if they want to stop the excessive celebration, this is a rule that'll do it. I'll guarantee you that. It's something that you've got to talk to your players about. Because now all of a sudden it's going to cost you a touchdown. Very easily could cost you a game. I was looking at our USC game the other day when USC blocked that PAT and they ran it all the way back for a touchdown. Well, he leaped from the 5-yard line into the end zone. They gave him an excessive penalty for that. This year's rule, they wouldn't have got the 2 points. So, the rule really can have a tremendous effect on what's going on. But, your players have got to know. I just want to make sure that it's clear to our players what they can and can't do. And to me, that's a little bit of a gray area. How are they going to call that? And to me, you just tell them don't do anything. Just get in the end zone, hand the ball off, and back to the official, and go to the bench. That's basically what we're going to talk about. It takes some of the emotion out of the game of football. Football's got to be fun. You got to have some emotion in it. And with this rule, they've pretty much taken it all out. So I'm not against it, but I just want to see how they call it. I think is the biggest thing that we're all going to deal with. How are they going to make the call?
Third row on the right-hand side there.
Hi, Dennis. DeAndre Lewis didn't play in the spring. What's his status going forward?
Questionable right now. We don't know. We won't know probably for a couple weeks. He's getting a lot better. I just don't know. It's really up in the air right now whether he'll play at all or whether he'll redshirt. He might not play for 3 or 4 games. It's just kind of how it's healing. And will he be able to practice next Monday or Tuesday? Probably not. So, but we'll see where he's at as time goes on. Obviously, he's a huge part of our offense, and we'll miss him. But we have a young man by the name of Kyle Middlebrook that filled his spot last year, and then Cameron Marshall. So I'm worried. I'm worried that he doesn't come back too soon. I mean, here's a young man that gets shot, so he's going through an emotional thing, and the damage to the hamstring by the bullet was worse than people thought originally. And I just want it to be right for him, whether he plays this year or not. Really isn't the most important thing to me. It's how he is doing mentally and physically, and I know Brock feels the same way.
Question back center.
Dennis, getting to the quarterback last year was a problem at times. Are you in better position to do that this year?
Yeah, without a question. We've got Will Sutton back, who didn't play last year. He was an inside player for us that played a lot as a true freshman. He was probably our best pass rusher. Outside, Junior Anali is a guy that can really rush the passer, and we'll get him involved more. Jamar Jarrett, we've got a junior college player in Devon Coleman who has that ability. And then we're going to have to do some different things. I mean, everybody's zone pressures now. We've got to do some different things. I don't know how much total man we can play all the time. Kind of depends on your corners and how they can match up. But we've got to find ways to bring 5 and 6 guys and get pressure on the quarterback. But we'll be a better pass rushing team than we were a year ago.
Second row on the right.
The media poll has you picked to finish second in the South. How do you feel about potentially playing in the championship game, finishing second and not winning the South?
I don't care. Shoot. A lot of things in life you take the way you can get it, But that's the playoff is really fun. I mean, to me that's the whole league and the Pac-12 but to me the idea of having a playoff like that. To me, as you go through a season, you may lose a game or two. Hopefully you don't. But to win a division, you can do that. I mean, you can have a bad game come back and get into that championship game, which is what it's all about, to go to the Rose Bowl. But to answer your question, like I said, I don't care. I'll take it any way we can get it. I don't know how you feel about it. Brock, how do you feel about it?
I feel exactly the same way. If you're there in the game and you win it, you're going to the Rose Bowl. So whatever it takes to get there.
And you got to understand, he's from Montana, so I mean.
We'll stay there in the second row on the right.
Don't worry about it, Brock. I'm from Montana, too.
Are you really?
Yeah,
Where?
Billings West.
Oh my God.
Coach Bean, so we stick with our own kind. Coach Bean, as deep as you are on defense and having as many offensive guys returning, where are your weaknesses this season?
Well, we don't have a lot of depth at corner. Our secondary, we've got to have some guys step up. Defensive front, I mean, like any of us in college football, you never have a lot of depth in the defensive front. And so that's a concern. Our receiver core, we've got to stay healthy. I think any of us, you've got to be concerned about what happens if you get people hurt. And I know that, year 2 and 3 that I was there, I mean, when we had one guy go down, we had some real issues. There was a drop off. And that still happens, but we're in a little bit better shape depth-wise than we've been. That's just a matter of being there for 4 years and being able to develop depth in recruiting.
Question in the back row on the left.
Back here, yeah. Last year, this is for Coach, as Brock took over the quarterback position, I was impressed with how he ran the football. I was wondering how much you plan to run him with called plays.
Well, I'll say one thing. Great quarterbacks have got to be able to get in the pocket, and they don't have to be great runners, but they got to be able to move around and give themselves a second chance. Brock just on his own, you know, when there's a pass rush and he can see that. He did that against the University of Arizona and made some big plays last year. As far as planned rushing, you know, when it's 4th and a foot, I'm going to go with the 6'8" guy, man. I mean, he can just reach over there. We get that first down all the time. But as far as running option and things like that, we won't do much of that.
Second row here on the left in the end.
Dennis Craig Morgan. You have faced some criticism over the past few seasons, certainly playing from the media for not going to a bowl the last 3 games, and some recently from a former player. How does that factor into your approach personally to this season?
You know, it doesn't really affect me at all, to be honest with you. I mean, I have high expectations of our football team this year. I mean, we all do. And that's all I can worry about. I can't worry about what you think or what somebody else thinks or what a former player said or anything like that. My concern and our whole football team is on winning football games. Yeah, we want to go to a bowl game. Yeah, we want to win the Pac-12 championships. Those are all things that everybody that's been sitting up here probably wants to do. And I'm excited about our team. I think our team has a good chance to win a lot of football games.
Any further questions? All right, hearing none. Coach, Brock, thank you very much.
Good job, Brock.
Thank you.
Billings West.